I don't even know what to do anymore. I don't even know why I'm here. This should be all leading, but I'm here, and I got bags under my eyes, and it's Anytime with Ken, for once, and again, and Alden. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, you were only out of town for a little bit, although based on the internet, whenever you disappear, they do act like you're never coming back, which is good. That means they love you.
It means they know me.
It means they're familiar with you. Yeah, we took a week off because of work stuff, and then you were on the road with Mark Ellis and several other people. Some great shows out in Seattle, and then Ken Napzok's Hot Burbank Nights happened in this period of time, and it's been you've been rocking and rolling. You know, I mean, and you're full of energy and life, and you could run a marathon right now, of course. I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. It's vitalized you. It hasn't exhausted you at all.
No, I'm having a good time, and some other stuff going on too. You know, in our own lives, but that never stops. That's the sign of getting older when you realize, the pain inside and out is always going to be here.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've had to reckon with too, especially like that. I'm almost 30, relatively, and I've realized so this is forever. Like when I used to have like bad knee days or like a bad lower back day, I'd be like, oh, it's okay if with rest and stretching and it'll go away. Sometimes it just does not.
When I was in my mid-30s and my friend was I was the security director at the Northridge Mall. He was the security director at the Glendale Mall. We were having lunch, and he was 43 at the time. Crazy. 5 years younger than me now. He was losing a lot of weight, getting in shape, and I was like, how's it going? He goes, it's horrible. It hurts every day. But the thing of getting older is just realize that's it. Yeah. You want to get in better shape, the pain will be there daily. And that's I'm not in good shape right now. I went to my doctor last week. I got some other stuff going on too. And he didn't even have to say it. He just was like,
Ken, my boogie. What are you doing?
My boy.
Now, but you look good. So is it like you're taking pictures with other comics and you're out there rocking and rolling? Like, do you feel good presenting? Like,
no, I feel I'm a house right now. I'm a house right now. I have a new stand-up bit about going up a size in underwear, and it's killing because I think it's too real. But I had got down to large shirts, and now I'm back up to XL. And that's fine. And again, body positivity. Right. If you're happy with where you're at, be happy with that. I'm not happy with where I'm at. So, but I'm also poor right now, even though I'm working, which is the state of the world, right? I ain't alone in this. Where I'm like, okay, I got all my bills covered and $142 for food, gas, and emergencies. What happens when you do that? How much are those formerly cheap McDonald's burgers? Let's grab 6 of those. So,
yeah. I rewatched Big Daddy, Adam Sandler's Big Daddy, the other day, and there's that scene about freaking out about McDonald's breakfast, and even though that's not about prices, it was about timing of the breakfast. I started to think, I was like, man, you used to be able to just clean house there for nothing with a $5 bill. You could just have a whole thing, and now you can't do anything.
$5.
It's the worst.
$5 will make you holler. But anyways, that's my set. So I feel as though I showed up with some also technical issues. Thanks for those hanging in. Not bad. I had a weird issue with my Rodecaster Pro 2, which is one of the greatest devices I've ever owned in my life. And last week, all I did was turn it on and off and like unplug it because there was like a weird thing going on. And I've lost all my preloads and everything's. I don't even know if I sound good. Like everything's changed.
You sound fine. You sound good.
Changed. So I don't have music. I have built-in. I could do this. It's about all I can do.
All the nice like little preload sounds. Yeah, that's great. No, but you're doing good, man. It sucks, but you're not bringing negativity to it. We're proud of you. We were happy.
Thank you.
Me and Andres Cabrera and our other friends over on Casually Talk were, plugging your show at Flappers and how cool it was that you had a show with your name on it and all that, and good with the bad. Good with the bad.
But So what now? Thanks for holding. I almost said something stupid. I almost said, here's what I almost said. Thanks for holding down the show. You didn't hold down anything. This is your show. And I want to be clear about that. I also want to be clear about that over on Casually Talk. Casually Talk is your show. And I know people want me to jump on and talk about dragons. I love this season of House of Dragons. It's one of my favorite seasons of television so far. So happy not talking about it. But this is a two-headed snake. You are one of the heads.
Yeah, this is both of us. If I'm ever out, you're here. If you're ever out, I'm here. If we both need to take off, we're not saving the world. We're not saving lives. But yeah, if you're gone, nobody panic. Like Ken always returns. He's like a frisbee, or not a frisbee. Frisbees don't always return. No, he's like a boomerang in that way.
It's like I tell my Chihuahua, we'll be back. We always come back. We always come back.
She's looking at you all suspicious. Yeah, but we had some good talks while you were gone, because we've got our UK correspondents, Maddie and Charlie over there, and it was right after their elections. We were able to do a special on that and sort of talk about how they were feeling and everything, and kind of class up the place with an accent that is, quite frankly, a little bit better than both of ours.
Yeah, but don't fall for that trick. A lot of them have really South End or whatever they call it, their version of townies. So you're like, oh, you're classy. They're like, oh yeah, Maddie.
Well, I know that they all make fun of what is called a Scouse accent.
That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Scouse.
And it's like there's like that viral video of the guy that's like, I'm being serious. And it's like, well, how serious can you really be? You were kind of born unserious. So we're discussing, as people are already preparing for the chat, we're discussing bad takes. And the reason why I bring this up is because the genesis of the thought was conversations in which I thought, that's such a bad take that I almost don't think you actually believe it. I don't think anyone really believes that. But then, reining that in, there are some that are genuine, and you hold true to them because you believe that thing, you love that thing, but you also are logical enough as a person to know that it's a minority take. And so you started this off visually with the thumbnail of sort of a great, everybody knows exactly what it is and everyone has an opinion, which is pineapple on pizza. A take that you might acknowledge is quote unquote a bad take, but you stand firm and proud.
Forever and ever. Okay. So I understand. Maybe I wouldn't have put the pizza. No, well, it's going to bring people in because everyone's going to yell at me. Pineapple on pizza is the best pizza out there. And I acknowledge it's controversial. How about that? Is that what you mean too? But I submit this one. I want to test this up top. One of my all-time favorite comedies is the Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, led movie Dirty Work, directed by, rest in peace, Bob Saget. Absolutely one of my all-time favorite comedies. Absolutely a dog shit piece of crap movie.
Ken's like, does not hold up, really shitty, badly constructed, 5 stars.
5 stars. I watch it all the time, die laughing. It's got bad writing tropes. It's got not even a manic pixie dream girl. It's just got, I guess we got to cast a girlfriend. What's her name? Trailer. Gosh, she was really good. She was all through the 90s. Did a lot of good work. It's amazing. It's my favorite.
Interesting. I haven't seen that. Maybe ever. I know. I was fortunate to know Bob a little bit because of my old job, and it only came up once or twice, and he seemed good humored about it. But people did clown the movie, and but he was just a very affable and just sweet person. But yeah, I don't know if I can defend or support that one. And a lot of people immediately weighing in, of course. That is a bad take. PLD, are you referring to the pineapple or Dirty Work?
I think it's the pineapple.
Or everything that Ken says.
Knowing that PLD and his East Coast connections, he's got that highfalutin, our pizza is the best vibe about him. And he and his mustache have probably got a few, New York slices on them. So I think that's probably where he's coming from.
Sure. So
is it Trailer Howard? I think Big Lou, Trailer Howard, I think was the name. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm looking at everybody's comments here. Some funny stuff coming in. So we'll talk about some of ours. We'll talk about some that we just don't believe, because I think that that's also part of it. Like, there are some that when people say them, I'm like the one I texted you when we planned this episode was when people say, I don't really like the Beatles. I just fundamentally don't believe that. you might not like a certain Beatles track or like a certain album, but I don't. I think that like the Beatles and like, oh, I heard someone say I don't really like Steven Spielberg. It's like that's just not true. It's just
Yeah.
it's just not true. I don't believe that.
As a diehard lifelong Beatles fan, number one, I'm going to be defensive, right? I'm going to be defensive, so I have to own that, and I have to acknowledge that. Hey, maybe not for you. You could have grown up a Stones fan, not so much a Beatles fan, all that kind of stuff. I also think it's lost a little bit on the generations, especially if you're going back and listening to, say, a song from 1962. It was made in 1962. I think a lot of other things stand up, especially the later you get in their work. It's rock and roll, baby. But what I get upset about is, if this makes sense to your conversation, please tell me if it doesn't, is not acknowledging what they did to establish the framework of everything that came after. And there's many other bands who've done that, many other artists who've done that. But like I always go to this example, I was in a sound engineering class, and one of our weeks we learned about a flanging, which was credited to John Lennon as kind of creating, maybe along with George Martin, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, this is a sound engineering science class, and the Beatles are in that too.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm always like, I don't even, I can believe that you don't like the music or doesn't connect with you, but I'm always just like, I don't think you get the bigger picture.
Yeah, like it's almost like when people phrase it as not I don't like them, but more so like they were never all that. Like they weren't.
Yes.
Nah, they weren't all that.
You know, Ringo wasn't really that good of a drummer. Sod off, man. I don't care. Number one, until he was a human metronome. Like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, stuff like that. Let's see. I'm just gonna start throwing some out there.
Throw it out there. Scotty's killing it with some. He's making me laugh.
Scotty's just throwing out stuff that he knows is inflammatory and that we're not going to bring up just because we're trying to keep the show tight, and also not get into beef online. Here's Eli declarative: the Beatles are the greatest band of all time. Period. End of sentence. Good job, Eli. Stand firm. Big Lou, that's like me with Elvis. I don't care for his music, but mad respect for what he did. Yeah, you sort of have to acknowledge that.
I didn't grow up a huge Elvis fan, and then my uncle kind of turned me a little bit into an Elvis fan, and I love so much Elvis stuff too. Yep, and there's a full, complete, complicated story with every one of these rock stars from that era.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go to the comments, I should not just hold Ken to the fire and share some of mine. I've got some takes that people just like do not understand. Like there's a very popular Netflix series, Black Mirror. Everybody loves. Been going for like 6 seasons. I hate that show. It's not personal for anybody involved. It's not that it's never ever gotten me. There's that one USS Callister episode I really like. That's how I knew that director would be good on Andor. Like I was like, oh yeah, I like his approach to genre. But that first episode so deeply pissed me off, and not in it's how it's supposed to, but like in a, oh okay, so like this is like a Twilight Zone for people that hang out on Hot Topic and hate their parents and like really think they understand what Edge is. Got it. So that pisses me off. There are some that are just like more so, I don't know how minority they are, but like the Zack Snyder DC stuff I think is largely trash. I should have told people that accuse me of being positive all the time to tune in for this one. Because I had a little bit of that this past week too, with some people we know and love, some friendly arguments. But you're positive all the time. It's like you don't pay attention really to who I am. A Black Mirror scared little all that. No, Kingsburg Cal didn't scare me. I just like stuff that like doesn't need to like just like proudly advertise like, well, look at this, and aren't we all doomed because we're all doomed? And it's like, all right, cool, but that's why the Twilight Zone worked.
Yeah, Twilight Zone is perhaps it's definitely a genre starter, but I love Twilight Zone. Didn't watch Black Mirror, not sure, but that's a running joke in my life. Like, Ken, did you see that very popular thing that everyone watched? Oh, of course not. No.
Yeah, it's to the point
maybe
where
that's a bad take. Maybe that's my whole life is a bad take.
Maybe not watching television is a bad take, but I think people that know you start to get it. At least I did. Like I've had moments recently where I'm like, oh, Ken would like that, and I have the instinct to tell you about it, and then I don't because I'm like, his backlog is already so long. Like,
my backlog's so long, but it's like I invested over 9 hours over the course of 2 weeks watching Turning Point, The Bomb, and the Cold War. Give me that. Give
Yeah.
me that. Which, by the way, the first thing I did after that ended is I bought a Ukraine hat, and I'm considering joining the Ukraine army because Putin might be the greatest evil of all time right now. Going what he wants to do. Not there's Nero, Hitler. I'd put them in the untouchable evil class, but
Yeah.
it's insane.
True.
This 9-part doc series is basically 9 hours to go. Hey, Putin's been waiting to do this for a long time, and that's what I want to watch. So when someone's like, "Hey, you like dragons? You want to see?" No, I got the dragon show over there. I want to watch this.
That might be one of your, I don't know if it's bad, but one of your more like perplexing takes, which is your aversion to fantasy outside of the stuff that you like. Because when you start to add it up, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of fantasy cred, from Star Wars to Ice and Fire to Rings. Like,
I'm
it makes sense.
I don't want to turn. I don't want to turn this into me being an asshole. I really don't.
No, you're not at all. You're not at all.
I'm complicated in this way, and I get it because I'm an old school nerd. Used to get beat up on the playground, but like recently, some people, my real close friends of mine, were like, "Hey, Sunday we're going to the Ren Fair," and I was like, I absolutely do not want to be around anyone at a Red Fair, man. Like, don't put me in the hot sun with a turkey leg and gamer girls with leather pouches. I'm out, man. I don't do that stuff. Go live your life.
Hold on.
I'm not encroaching on it.
You sold the mystique of the Ren Fair in your pitch just now about why you don't like it. I do want to be around gamer girls with leather eating turkey legs.
Be in a room with them.
Be in a room with them. That's what I want.
Okay, but I always say I'm not pushing the dark over on you. Go dress up as a knight or a wench, whatever goes on there. And my friend was laughing. I was like, I don't like that stuff. I like Game of Thrones, and that's what I like. This is Alden. That's a bad take. When I'm saying it, I know I'm an asshole.
Sure.
Right? You know what I mean? I know that I'm going like, leave me out of this. You tried to be so nice to me.
Yeah.
I'm out of this.
That's perfect for the topic. I mean, that's exactly what that's exactly what we're touching on. Alden, come LARP with me. Yeah, maybe.
LARPing's like I have a weird relationship with it because I would love to do it. I just watched, when I was in Seattle, I just watched another one of my all-time favorite movies, Role Models, which, again, does it hold up? There's about 10% of the movie we need to change, word-wise. But I have that famous clip of the guy at a LARP event throwing like rocks, going lightning bolt.
Yeah.
I fell off my couch laughing at it and at him, but then thought, I want to be there.
Yeah.
So I think I would take a styrofoam sword and hit you upside the head.
Yeah, and speaking of role models, I mean, the way that it all hinges on a kiss bit, like that, the whole thing is just how his kiss fascination comes together at the end. Like, and honestly, as a Kiss fan, I know Scotty's in the comments too. As a Kiss fan, I'll say one of my hotter takes is that Kiss is one of the best bands of all time, and that's a positive hot take because people dog on Kiss left, right, and sideways. It's simple. Every song's the same. It's bad. They weren't that good. Like, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. I don't care.
I own so many Kiss CDs, like I can't even hold them. They start falling out.
Yeah, all 20 studio albums. I'm in for every single one. Scotty, you're just saying things I agree with. Like, hot take, Shadow the Hedgehog is actually a complex and great character. I mean, yeah, he is.
I don't know what that is.
It's just a fact. Shadow the Hedgehog is like the edgy Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you know who Sonic is?
Yes, my friend voices him.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But not Jaleel White, the other friend. The other Sonic voice.
Roger Craig.
Yeah, the newer Sonic voice. Yeah. If you were friends with Jaleel White and Jaleel White wasn't on this show right now, I'd be like, why are you holding out?
I agree that.
I would love
Plus, I had a Sega Genesis for like 6 months or something in '97. I chased those rings.
That's true. AC/DC's been using the same 4 chords for 50 years. They're amazing. Amen. Let's go through some of yours, and then we'll go back to ours. Let's see. Jared starts. I know that Alden thinks my worst take is how much I hate Yoda. Yeah, because your reasons for hating Yoda are fucking stupid. That's why.
Give me one of Jared's reasons.
Jared lays the entire institutional failure at Yoda's feet instead of it being multi-generational and the whole thing. Like, he is quoted as saying, exact quote, that he is the Nancy Pelosi of the Jedi Order, which is like, I understand what he's saying, but it's like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, What are you doing? Like, I treat that the same way that, like, Sarah Hess, I guess, said, and so did Eve Best, that like Hillary Clinton was a big part of like the Rainey's inspiration. And it's like, I see what they're saying, but I also think if we start to make that a 1-to-1, it falls apart. Like so that's how I feel about the Yoda take. Like, it's not all his fault. Just like how it's not all Mace's fault. Just like how it's not all a lot of people's faults exclusively.
Yeah. It's But and I get it. Look, he's been 900 years. He's reigned over a lot of it, and he, plus his investments, he's doing really good with the insider trading. So, I think it's good. But I'm not here to settle that.
Just the worst. Let's see. I don't know if it's a bad take on my part, Michael McCarcel, but anytime someone calls a piece of art mid, I consider that to be unintelligent, bad take, and they have nothing of actual substance. Yeah, I mean, you're correct. Yeah, that's it. I'm christening that as a good take.
The only thing I'd not even counter with that is it's a parlance of the time, and so I'm going to give someone the benefit of the doubt if that's what they're using. But I think generally the attitude around it seems it's like it's a meh, right? It's like that thing, meh. Like, all right, great, got it.
And part of that is like a language issue of because everything needs to be incredible or it sucks. Mid is more of an insult than it ever was supposed to be, when really it means fine or middling or meh.
I think that's actually a great point. Is sometimes things start out and there's examples everywhere, right, of things that start out of just like, no, that's a good enough thing, and now it's an insult. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like if you say like this is fine, and people are like it's fine. It's like I said it was fine. Like that's such a middle.
I told a friend today on some work. Brian Tiller, we're releasing a new Moonagers song soon, and I just went, "Hey, good stuff." And I felt like, oh no, should I have said great stuff? Should I have said wonder? Should I have written him a poem about how much I liked it? Like I just went like, "Hey, good stuff," because I'm busy. Like I feel bad. I'm in my head about it. I'm in my cups.
Scotty, hot take. Fish sticks are fucking fantastic. Best oven
that ain't a hot take. That's a fact.
Time.
That's a fact.
Bold.
Mother trucker, that's a fact. Bold. And I just got in this argument with Grace, who is vegan. But we were in a store, and I was like, and she goes, "Ew, fish sticks." I was like, you ain't never lived until you had fish sticks at about 4 p.m. hot out of the oven on a Friday.
Yeah.
Ooh, some tartar sauce that you just thawed out.
Ooh, I like fish sticks. Yeah, I mean, I grew up a fish sticks kid. I always prefer the chicken nuggets, but fish sticks are pretty good. Greatest oven food of all time. Not sure if I could support that, but I mean, they're good.
That's a good. What is your greatest oven food of all time? I put fish sticks up there. I put French bread pizzas from Stouffer's. I'd put pizza rolls before a really mid YouTube channel ruin them for me. Where would you go with that?
I have to explain that one to me after, but I like pizza rolls. I really like any type of standard oven pizza. I know that your partner on Force Center and co-host Joseph Scrimshaw loves a frozen pizza, and has so many. And so I think I'm with him on that one. I'm not really into like when people take like French onion soup and like those frozen ones. I don't really like that.
French onion soup's got to be served to me at a restaurant I'll never be back at again. Where I'm like, this is the one time I'm doing it. There's some animatronic pirates singing near me. Let's get it. I want Dan at the Food in My Beard. Check out his great brand. He does what you talk about comfort food. He's got some great cookbooks out there about 80 things to do with tater tots. He says pizza rolls, and if he says it, that's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy here has been helping out a lot on Couch
Time out. Look at this dumb grit. I ain't never had a pizza roll. You come on, get to America again, Maddie.
Maddie is a guy.
Scouser of an accent. Come down here, leave the streets of Manny, and get over here and have a pizza roll.
This is a guy that's like a rock star who like works late, parties, hanging out in the studio, and you've never had one of the quintessential hanging out foods. What are you doing? What are you eating? What do you eat, Maddie?
We broke from the crown so we could have pizza rolls.
That might be it. And now we're like low key begging to go back. At least I am. I'm already working on my plans. I've got Charlie Ashby building a book.
We're still working on the French one. A little renewed hope that we could one day get there. Still not clear, but yeah.
one day you're gonna come home and Grace is just gonna have the bags packed and a new beret for you, and the same color as your beanie.
I don't even know if I'll be involved in that plan.
You're like, I might be driving her to the airport.
You're assuming a lot there.
We're gonna get Maddie some beefaroni too. Ken Plume with the beefaroni shout out. That is so important.
Plume was raised on beefaroni. You get that sense. He was one of those kids like me that had the automated can opener that was about this big on our shelf, on a counter. You and you just plop it in there, microwave it, put a paper towel over it.
Andy, who's been helping out a lot on Casually Talk, one of the greatest. My most controversial take is that Nick Cage is unironically one of the greatest working talents in Hollywood. He just needs a director who can name him. I mean, yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I'm going to see Longlegs later today. The new film that he did with Oz Perkins, and
they got movies still, huh?
They're still coming out. That's true. They are not being all deleted for tax purposes. They are still being released.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I think that his is a lesson of the long and winding road in careers. Nepo baby that starts out the right way and then reaches this peak, this pinnacle with Leaving Las Vegas, and then just became something else. And often that you could forever be a self-parody, but he just knows what he wants to do, man.
Mm-hmm. He's completely authentic.
Did you ever hear the Josh? It's a quick story. It's not my story. The Josh McCouga story. He was flying to Las Vegas. Jet Suite X, which is off the Burbank Airport. It's like separate. It's like 10 people on a plane. Gets you in 45 minutes. He gets on there, and all of a sudden, like, this guy walks in there, like a full length, like, I think it was like a pink fringe leather suit and a cowboy hat and big glasses, and it was Nick Cage. Just like, hey, and he was like the coolest dude, chill, no assistant, just, hey, flying to Vegas. Like, it was that right there cemented him as the best of the best.
That's pretty incredible. That's awesome. A Chef Boyardee conversation has broken out in the comments now. Plume
Chef
will be
Boyardee.
lowered on beefaroni too. That's good to know that you have that worked out in your plans. Big Lou says my blood type is Chef Boyardee, but Kingsport Cal says that the Chef Boyardee sauce is always awful.
Yeah, that look. Yeah, it's
not great.
It's fire in a can, but I don't mean fire in the young hip way. I mean literally, it's heartburn in a can. I agree with you, Cal, but that's part of it too. Maybe this factors into your worst take kind of conversation here, where I'm like I love frozen burritos, like Scrimshaw likes frozen pizzas, and there's like I have some in there right now that I can't finish because they're so bad, and today I can't wait to have them. Like I'm there for it. That's why I love gas station sandwich food. Like I love a grab and go because it ain't supposed to be good.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that a lot of people don't understand, similar to, your take about, about dirty work. Like that transfers to other things. It's like, I'm not confusing this for gourmet. I want to be down in the mud right now. This is a life decision.
Down in the mud. That's a funny line. If you ever get back up on that stand-up stage, you let me know. I'll get you some time with that line. I like
You're
that.
tempting me. You're tempting me. This is a good one. I started this one. Box Office Jack. Hot take: shrimp in any fashion are absolutely disgusting, trash-eating cockroaches of the ocean. Get them out of here.
Damn, my fiance would very much agree with you. I cannot have I cannot prepare shrimp in our house, and I don't have them often, so it's a restaurant food. But I'm a big fan of shrimp, fully aware of what they are.
I like shrimp a lot. I love a shrimp Alfredo. I love a coconut shrimp. I definitely like shrimp the majority of the ways that it's been prepared in my life. But I love the hatred. I encourage the hatred.
Sorry, I'm late. Let's listen to Hook Blues Traveler on repeat. Absolutely. Suck it in when you're in Tintin or Amber Lynn. Yeah.
You're out of line, Jack. Yeah, the fights are breaking out. Can I throw out one that's not food related that just came into my mind that I qualified to?
We're keeping it safe with the food, but go for it. Yeah.
The thing about some of these is that you're unqualified to talk about them, and it's just a gut feeling that you have, or like a one instance crazy observation. And you're obviously a lifelong sports guy, so you might just guffaw what I'm about to say. Okay. I think football is way more boring than baseball. And baseball always gets hung out to dry as the boring sport. But and the times I've seen these games, I think the dramatic tension of baseball is much higher. Of
Yes.
like, here it comes, it's this
Yes.
pitcher, can he
Yes.
do it? I think it's way more like cinematic. And football, I'm just like, fuck, we're stopping again. Like, I don't understand.
I don't disagree with you. Football has an energy to it that baseball will always not have.
Yeah.
Hockey is fun to watch in person live. I'm not a huge soccer/football fan. I think that's a sport that has too much just repetitive moments in it with a little payoff. But I respect that it's worldwide, probably the most popular sport. Basketball's like that for basketball is so up and down and so fast paced, and the scores. I do it time. That's why I never took to it. Baseball is exactly what you're describing. It is. If I want to be an a-hole about it, it is the thinking person's sport. But it is full of so much tension at every moment, and George Will, who big baseball fan, political commentator, probably not a lot of people's favorites, and over the years, not mine either. But George Will's a big baseball fan and a spectacular writer. And he wrote a book of baseball essays years ago. And it begins with a moment from the 1997 playoffs between Cleveland and Baltimore. And it's this like 4-page thing. And it's exactly describing, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And he gets to the end of it and he goes, all that happened in like 90 seconds. Damn. And it was like one pitch. It was one pitch. And I think if you want to seek it out, it's there. But there's, second inning in a game in May, it's not the most exciting.
Interesting. Yeah. Context key. This context, I mean, Jared's saying the sport of football is fine. It's the NFL that sucks. Interesting.
I mean, yeah, the NFL is not and they're getting to the point of, I think past the point of willfully sacrificing the health of players for profit. That's probably always been there, to be clear. But now that we've learned more, it's not just simply about the head injuries. It's just now they're looking to expand to an 18-game season, which is a problem. But anyways, I agree with that thing.
Laserbolt, soccer is the most boring 3 hours of your life. Bold. Sports ones coming in. Most U.S. sports bore me. Maybe it's us.
I have some cricket fans out there in my life. I get it. Like I said, me saying I always tell you how I occasionally daily go through my Facebook memories. There's some I have some pretty aggressively a-hole takes on soccer that are out there, and I don't think I'd say them anymore. Not because they're problematic in a kind of a social way, but just kind of all right. I'm just a yank over here watching baseball. I should shut my mouth, but
like maybe you're just anger for anger's sake. That's interesting. Do you think that the world of comedy is like that there are bad takes, or is it like because of what the art form is that it's irrelevant whether it's good or bad and it's all about the performance?
It takes in terms of content.
Like do you think that you can lose people on premise truly, or that
you can lose people on premise, your own personal commitment, and I will say this carefully. I give almost every comic the benefit of the doubt. I'll follow them on a pretty bad social take. I'll follow him on something. There was a comic recently who kind of killed a show with the words he was saying on stage, but they were funny. Like I was laughing, but you're like, it's not even like, I shouldn't be. It's like that was a great bit. But the question I always come to is, what are you trying to accomplish with the bit? What are you trying to say? Sometimes you're just being silly. Sometimes you're being hurtful. And that's where I draw the line. That's where I go. Like, that's changed for me. But I will follow almost any comic down a path. Because I'm in there, I'm in that arena where I want to see where you want to take this.
Yeah, just wondering.
Again, dirty work, best comedy of all time.
Best comedy of all time. That's good. Yeah, I mean, like you end up in situations too with comedy where it's like so taste based. Like I would say, and again, when we talk about other comedians, we're always going to ride that line of Ken is in this world, and so the courtesy of when this person, of course, I'm sure they're great. I've never found out of the SNL greats Kristen Wiig to be funny. Kristen Wiig has never landed for me.
I would 100% say you're wrong on that.
And that's a bad take. I know that's a bad take.
Having written sketches for her and
Yeah.
watch her get a giant laugh off something that wasn't even a joke. No, she's to me next level funny.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I like her in films. And so I almost just wonder if it's just, whenever I've caught her, like, because then Kate McKinnon sort of rises up. Not that it's like, a fucking Hydra where like one woman goes down and another woman. It's not that, but it's just
no.
In terms of era, I was like, oh, I love Kate, and then I really love like Chloe Fineman right now, and so I'm wondering almost like, but they are in the wig tradition, so maybe it's just me, maybe it was the way I was at the time.
Look, especially by the time she gets to SNL, like I don't, Target lady makes me laugh, and now it's part of an actual Target ad. It's not my favorite thing she's done. She's a great actor. And SNL often cuts away some of the acting to make it a different kind of pop. But it's I've expressed I don't love Sarah Squirm too much, but I also know that I don't watch SNL regularly anymore.
And I do like Sarah a lot. And so that might just be again timing and generation, and not that Kristen Wiig is like so ancient. She's not.
Yeah, I mean, look, but again, I worked with her, I'd write sketches in her one room studio apartment above a garage. I've been and told her, several times, Lorne Michaels is going to call on you to save your show. And her and Mikey Day, I worked with Mikey Day all the time, and Sean Pedrad. They are uber talented as well. Yeah.
I like Sean Pedrad. Sticking with comedy, I thought this one's fun from Coop. The worst comedy take I've ever heard was that Mitch Hedberg wasn't a real comedian. Who the fuck said that?
I don't. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to. That he's an amazing comic. That's fantastic. I haven't heard that. He's one of the ones I'd describe as more universally loved. We got unique style, unique voice.
I don't like Will Ferrell, and then Kingsport. Chris Kattan, not funny. I just love that it's Chris Kattan, not funny. It's such the wording of it being so blunt and straightforward is that's funny.
Not funny. I've had my Will Ferrell ups and I've had my Will Ferrell downs.
Yeah.
I think he's talented.
Ooh, okay. We're not to litigate Seinfeld the person because we've done that in other episodes. I hate the Seinfeld show. This is interesting because Seinfeld, I think, is what I'm talking about a little bit of like. How you realize in retrospect that you had the bad take. Because when I was younger, I thought Seinfeld was just a boring show. I was like, ugh, this. And then I realized, I think it was after high school, I was like, wait a second, this is the human experience. This is genius. Everything about this is funny. Whereas Friends is still dog shit. Friends has never, ever grabbed me and likely never will. And I respect everybody's deep emotional attachment to it. And I'm glad that it's sort of so many people's like social currency, like a Friends quote, can get people. I'm glad that happens, but it can't do it.
I watched season 1 of Friends and I came back for like season 7, I think, and watched it. It was one of those things. It's like, it's a pop song. It's good for a reason. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take anything away from who said that. I miss Jared. First of all, I've talked about it here. Like Seinfeld, the person, has been one of the more disappointing turnouts for me, but it also wasn't surprising looking back at just how he approached it. But he was always one of my favorite comics and is groundbreaking in what he did. That's time kind of time robs a lot of those kind of creators where you look back. Beatles, where you look back, you're like, I don't know, other people did it better. It's like, well, other people did it because they did it. That's Seinfeld for me in observational humor. But the show Seinfeld, I absolutely love it. Now I'll say this: I haven't revisited it in years. I'm such a huge Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, but I haven't gone and Josh McCouga occasionally will just rewatch all of Seinfeld. It is an encyclopedia with it, and as is Ellis. But it was water cooler television for me, and it's hard to say I don't enjoy it and didn't.
I will say because he's making a rare cameo. Because normally I put him in his crate. Look at this dog and tell me right now that disliking dogs is a valid take. If you dislike dogs, that is the worst fucking take. And I'm not saying you had a traumatic experience with one and you have
that's different. That's different.
I get that if you were hurt by an animal, I understand the fear. and allergies, because I have that with cats. I'm deathly allergic to cats.
Yeah.
Excluding those two things, if you're just like, I just don't like dogs, they're annoying, they're this, you are on crack. Dogs, look at him. They're the best.
I obviously agree with you. I give everyone the wiggle room, like a tail, to come up to your conclusions about animals. You know, got it. I'm with you. I don't like snakes because I had pet rats as a kid, so I don't fuck with snakes. All right. But yes, and I think, and here's the thing about dogs. If someone loves, like, there's people who are like, I like dogs, and there's people like me and Grace and you who are like, dogs. Yeah. The worst a-hole can do that, and I'll be like, well, they're not all bad, to a point where I should be like, no, they're bad. Like I worked for someone who was like, this is a dog office, and it was the only trait of his that was good, and I think about it all the time. Should I have hated him earlier? I should have hated him earlier, but he loves dogs.
Yeah, it's true. It's almost like it becomes a weakness.
Yeah, it does. And then another person came in, and it was like, they were like, why is there so many dogs in the office? Let's invest in crypto and get all these dogs out of here. And I was like, all right, that makes you and our current president bad. This is 2017. Yes. Like, yep.
This is the reaction he deserves. Mando. Popper. Yeah.
8984M. Kyrie says, fear dogs. The real, my mom cannot be than 5 feet of bigger dog. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Valid.
Yeah. I've seen it. I have to admit, I have to be more careful of that. I've had some people react like, dog, and I've been like, really? Like, calm down. But I struggle. My worst take is I don't really accept anxiety from other people. I have to work better. I have my own anxiety. One.
That's such a huge thing.
No, because every time a plane flies over me, it's going to crash. Oh, it didn't. You see how it didn't? You're good. Yeah. Move on.
Yeah.
And that's my worst take. That's my worst personal take, where I live with someone who struggles from anxieties, and I'm like spider. Grace has a deathly nightmarish fear of spiders. I'm always like,
sure,
that thing. Stop.
And I have
stop worrying about that
thing. I have a huge fear of frogs, and I know that Molly Damon is in the chat, and Molly has an ongoing relationship and friendship with this toad that hangs outside the Damon house that like always comes back and now has a little house. And I said to her, I was like, your posts are helping me get over this, because I give them a full like 5 to 8 feet. If I see one on the sidewalk, I'm going around.
We ever think, like, I don't love spiders, but my friend Joe Starr, his wife Torlin, is loves spiders to the point, like, if there's like an orb weaver in our backyard, she'll go over and go, oh, I'll move it for you, and grab the spider and like move it and and I was like, oh, okay. I want to Andy had something good. I want to highlight what they said. I have no problem with dogs, but cannot stand dog people. If your dog is jumping over me and you're not stopping it, or if you're bringing it to a place that should have dogs, you suck. I agree with that to the point. Like it is like we'll bring our chihuahuas in to places, but I try to angle like no grocery stores. Like the coffee shop is that we go to a dog friendly coffee shop.
Yeah.
But if she starts getting squirrely, I'm talking about the dog, not Grace. Or when Baxter was alive and he was in the stroller,
sure,
starts barking, he's out. Like, he's out. Because I'm with Andy. I'm not getting emotional. I'm choking.
You have to be conscious of other people. Yeah, like Tandy's point about like dog people, they love to be like, oh, he loves you. He loves you. It's like, okay, but like, can we love each other at a different pace? Like, can you?
Well, yeah, because like one of my biggest pet peeves is dogs off leash. And I have a very skittish, injured dog right now. I'm taking her for walks to exercise her. And you get the people who are like, she's tremendously afraid of dogs, a dog afraid of dogs, building droids. And they're always the people, the dog off dog leash people, generally speaking, of course, who are like, don't worry, my dog's friendly. It's like, my dog is not. And this is bad.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, also just like as an anxiety, ridden person, I would never ever let Mando off leash, and I wouldn't, like, it freaks me out. And so like a lot of it is also like I love him so much that it's like I want to take precautions and like make sure he's good, so I don't bring him to a lot of places. Like if I had a dog friendly coffee shop, maybe I would, but we don't. So yeah, just be conscious of that. And but again, just to if anyone's joining us now, reframing this, we are talking about people that dislike dogs. That are like like dogs or animals in general. When people are like, I don't really like animals, I'm like, oh, you don't like music either, you don't like love. Okay.
Jared's fake service dog people are horrible. They're horrendous. When I was in public safety, there was a gentleman going around town. He was very memorable. And when I say town, I mean Los Angeles. And he had he looked like he was a bass player for like Leonard Skinner. He had like this giant top hat with skulls on it, big beard, and he'd ride this motorcycle with a German Shepherd roped to the motorcycle. Then he'd take it off and he'd go in the mall and he'd bait security people into approaching him. And then he would sue. He had at one point like 27 lawsuits all around LA. He'd just go to malls and theme parks, Universal Studios, and all that stuff, and bait security teams into it. And we actually helped bust it up. We actually ended up going to the people because and there's rules. You can't ask. There's no paperwork. They do not have to have signage.
Two questions you can ask legally. Yeah.
You can basically just go, hey, there's no dogs in here. It's a service animal. Have a nice day. That's all you can do. But this guy, we busted. He tried to bait us, and it was So I have a special place in my heart for those people.
This one right here. I need to know if Alden is cool with Kermit. Yeah, it's because I think of Kermit primarily as an MC, a comic, and an entertainer. Frog is very low on my identifiers for Kermit, even though it's in his full name, the Frog. Maybe it's because he's like anthropomorphic and like is shaped the way he is. Like I think of Kermit the way that I think about like Steve Martin. Like he's just a legend of the business.
I agree with this take. Going in on the frog thing a little bit. Where did it begin? When did you take a tadpole and then watch it turn into a frog and that freak you out? Like what happened?
No, it's not based on an incident. I think it's just the way that I have weird. This is gonna sound so weird. I have weird texture things, right? So this happens with like food, and it also happens with the way things look like they'll feel, and like something about the way that like frog skin looks, like some more slippery, some more bumpy and dry. Kind of weirded me out as a kid, but then also I've explained this as like there is nary a more unpredictable creature on God's green earth. It could jump great distances. The prehensile tongue, some are poison, some are not.
Big Lou says I had a tree frog jump in my face one time. It was unpleasant.
Big Lou, and you didn't see it coming. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it didn't look like it was in jump mode.
Yeah,
they can get into jump mode real quick, and that's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, will not play. That is correct. And in fact, I do not in fantasy and in science fiction when something is frog based. Whether or not the Muppets is fantasy sci-fi, I guess I will leave for the plumes of the world to decide. But
the plumes of the world,
frog-based creatures and characters, I'm always just like, okay, you gotta earn some trust here.
I still publicly call out Ken Plume that he should have a Muppet YouTube channel where he just explains it all, and he just refuses.
Muppets Explained.
He just refuses.
I would be down.
Refuses to do it.
I would watch.
Be a moneymaker.
Going back to music for a second, Eli starred this one because I agree with it. Imagine Dragons have some genuinely good and catchy songs. I'm not saying they're great or anything, but Demon slaps, Radioactive slaps, especially with the version with Kendrick Lamar having a feature. Friction. Let me say something real quick, and I mean this very seriously. I need to look right down the barrel of the camera. If you are depressed and you feel bad inside, stronger than any antidepressant or therapy in the world is the Mission Impossible Fallout trailer, where they cut the Mission Impossible theme to Friction by Imagine Dragons. That will cure you. It is the greatest thing maybe ever made.
Okay. I will. I'm not super familiar with Imagine Dragons. It's one of those weird blind spots of music. I like it. Just send me the link to that song. We'll go for it.
I will. You like Mission Impossible?
The motion picture or the old TV
series? The motion picture series.
I do. You know what's funny? That's actually, I want to pick that up. I saw the first two in theaters. Okay. I loved the first one and was all on board for it. And then I fell off for just probably dumb Ken reasons. And then 5, right? Rebecca Ferguson shows up.
Is in 5, yes.
And with
change your life.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be too thirsty. But that shot that a lot of people share every now and then, the dress, the gun, everything. It's one of the greatest shots in the history of cinema. That I love that movie, and I was like, I love this franchise, and I've never watched one again.
Yeah, no, I get
I don't know why.
Well, you get a couple more with her after that.
I know.
Yeah. And then 3, J.J. Abrams takes over his directorial debut. You got Philip Seymour Hoffman as the bad guy. That's awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic. Good stuff
All in.
for that. I'm looking at Jonah says gay people love frogs. I'm obsessed with them for no reason. I did not
I
know that, Jonah.
I would is I that's I'd love to have a Scrimshaw theme breakdown of that. Is it because they start as something and then kind of morph into their their true identity and what they want to be and how they want to live the world? I can
And
see
though they
connection to
are
that.
one group, there's
Yeah.
so many differences and so many different
Yeah.
ways of like
They're like you view
expressing.
me as this, but I'm going to bloom into what I was born to be. Like I think there's some truth in that.
That's interesting. We have affirmation. Gay people do love frogs. Wow. I
Okay.
didn't know this. It's in the gay handbook.
Okay.
Cool. Let's
Love to get a
rock.
copy of it.
Yeah, can
Love
we
to get
check
a
that out
copy
for
of it.
research purposes?
I love that. I love that.
Uh,
Speaking of, can I just say, because I mentioned last time, I know it's a 4-year-old song. I want to be clear. I'm not out of touch with music.
Okay.
After you and I last time I was on, I made a reference like Pink Pony Club, Chapel
Hell
Road,
yeah.
and I put on the video on YouTube, and now because the YouTube algorithm, it shows up every day. I've listened to that song 15 times a day for the last 7 days.
It's the best.
And I've started doing like the dance. I'm all in, man.
Dude,
I'm
Chapel
all
is the
in.
future. Chapel is the future and the present, evidently, because
I
even though
agree.
that album came out last year,
Yep.
charting, rocking out, she's doing all the late night shows. Like this is
Yeah,
the
no,
moment.
and I just saw the cover, her cover of Bad Romance at a concert in April. I was watching last night too. It was amazing. So good stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, when the Gaga new record happens and she tours, Chapel opening on the Gaga tour will bring peace. It will unite us.
I agree.
Something to believe in here. More gay frogs. I'm gay. I could do without him, but I dig Frogger. That counts.
That's close enough. That's close
That
enough.
counts. He's a frog. That's a frog in pop culture.
Yeah.
You start a comment here, and I'll let you bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. Oh yeah, Brian says Teddy was the best Roosevelt. Clearly, no, absolutely. And look, FDR absolutely earns his place, but I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt fan, and so is Joseph Scrimshaw. I never want to speak for Joseph because we could bring him on to do that, but he's well studied in Teddy. He goes, look, he's both saved the world and is probably a very complicated man of his time who did a lot of bad things. And was a big fan of imperialism and colonizing and all that kind of stuff. So he's got some problems, but I think in the context of time, he's my favorite Roosevelt.
Jerry says, popping my head in while taking the kids to the zoo. I have no bad takes. They're all correct. Well, you know what, Jerry? I think you've earned that. You deserve that. Taking your kids to the zoo. Hot take that potentially is a bad take given, the industry of it. I love zoos, but I will say I do my best to know, like, is this zoo doing good works? Like, or like, you don't want to go and just like, hey, look at this creature that's like caged up. But if it's a zoo, like Zoo Miami has a lot of programs, a lot of education, a lot of conservation and saving. And like you try to be a part of that. That's one that you have to be educated about, or else it can become a bad take.
Yeah, I've said before, I'm a big fan of zoos. I'm a member of the LA Zoo, and it's not always perfection. And I'm with you. I'm with you. It's perhaps one of the more, it's like a lot of people don't love a lot of things what museums do and all that kind of stuff. I totally get it. Totally get it. I also think I'm just trying to live on this planet for about 61 years. And,
61, exactly.
Yeah, I want to go see some meerkats every now and then. So there you go.
So why do you think you're checking out at 61 exactly?
Well, it gets worse, Alden. When I was in my teens, I kept telling people I was going to be shot and killed when I was 49. So I've got 6 months left.
Oh, hell yeah.
So no, I'm planning on. My grandfather was 94 when he passed 3 years ago. My grandma like 96, and I've got more of that side. I just gotta keep up on the health.
Great.
As long as McDonald's does not release special edition McFlurries again, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Alden mentioning Lady Gaga 7 Night Maid. Yeah, I'll also say this is just a take. I don't know if it's a bad take, but like it's one of those ones I don't believe. Similar to like Spielberg. Like if you're like, I don't like Lady Gaga, you just haven't heard the one for you. That's what I think.
Or again, music is subjective, but know the place, know the influence, and know what people like that did to help and break through for the people after. Yeah, so I'm a huge Liz Phair fan, and a lot of what you enjoy in rock music with female artists is because of her in the '90s and many before her.
Yeah. Bad
Context,
take.
history.
Bad take about music. All country music is pretty bad. Save like less than maybe 10 songs. Like I just, oof,
I mean,
God,
what
the
do you
hardest genre.
what do you? Because here's the thing. I grew up thinking that too. I also grew up in a countrified area. Central Coast of California is mostly agriculture, even though we were a mile from the beach. So a lot of kids I went to high school with wore the shit kickers and the blue jeans and the big belt buckles and the hats and the big 4x4s. That's most of my high school. So country was pretty prominent, and I didn't grow up liking it. We had a big radio station in town, K-Jug, 98 or something like that.
K-Jug.
K-Jug, and they drove around with a giant like moonshine jug on the back of a pickup truck was their advertisement.
Hell yeah.
But then Wilco, Sunvolt, a lot of the mid-'90s alt country bands changed my view on it. Then I went to Nashville in 2008 and came out of it with a great appreciation of country music.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need a pilgrimage. Because I think there's a great meme that's like country music before. It uses like the Shiba Doge thing, and it's like country music before 9/11, and it's like, I shot a loud man with his gun and won a horse in a poker game with the devil. And then country music after 9/11's like, if you don't stand for the flag, I'm gonna piss myself. And like that's that's sort of how it feels a lot of the time.
Yeah, no. Look, you're not wrong in a sense. I totally get it. I totally get it, and it's a cultural thing. And it's like, and you would acknowledge it. You got to be, I grew up with the rap is crap thing and just stamped on my head, and that's inherently problematic, right? we say with the disco sucks is disco sucks. Oh, except for the cultures and the communities that grew up and needed that music. So I think country has a little bit of that. It's a little bit about understanding the needs of Middle America to me, but it's a little tougher pill to swallow in some of it there. It's try that in a small town, like, oh boy, here we go. But overall, the cash
or
is
by
the
a man who
partners.
is not from a small town and does not live in one, which is just one of the great things. Maddie says all these y'all-alternative bands piss me off. Y'all-alternative is one of my favorite new terms. I think it's very funny. I saw someone describe Rogue from X-Men as a y'all-alternative.
I don't. Please explain to the old man. What is that? What is that?
Sort of the exact amalgamation it sounds like bands of a more alternative rock bent that are trying to bring country influence in or shift to country, or like in the case of describing a person as the alternative, like Rogue from the X-Men is this, she's the Southern belle in the way that she speaks and like sort of her background and her mentality, but she's also so rock and roll and has the iconic hair and the jacket and everything like that. Is that mixture of aesthetics?
Okay. I have no judgment. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Country edge. Yeah.
I'll talk to Maddie.
Bee Gees kicked ass. You're correct, Kingsburg Cal. Bee Gees rock.
Yeah, just they did, Cal. But they did what you accused Elvis of earlier in the disco age. So it's all complicated. All right, I have changing a little music here. I don't know what to think about this one. PLD, Paul, check out his stuff. I just did a great podcast with him and Maddie Gunner talking about Oasis coming out soon. I do have a hot take. Bo Burnham is a pretentious wanker.
Wow,
that's a big one. Ooh. I want to get your opinion, Chad, because PLD is owning this as a member. Today we're sharing takes that we know might
are
be bad. Mm-hmm. That's the part. So everyone, if you're expressing something on this episode today, even in chat, I think there's a little bit of immunity around. We're not attacking you. We're talking and debating, discussing the idea. I don't know if I disagree with this, but I don't know enough because I've not enjoyed Bo Burnham stuff enough to go into. I did like his movie. Was it 8th Grade?
8th Grade is his film.
I really like that movie.
Great film.
So, but some of the specials, some of the stuff, I was like, yeah.
I feel this about Bo Burnham. He took off. He was sort of the right time for our age group. Middle school, he starts posting to YouTube. Middle school for me, not middle school for him. Posting to YouTube and all his songs. And I never got the parody songs. I never got the comedy. I never got any of it. I just thought it was just bad, stupid, dumb. Then he does, I believe it's called Make Happy, the Netflix special. And I don't even remember anything about that special. I don't remember enjoying any of it until he does a song, I believe it's called Can't Handle This, more commonly just known as the Kanye rant, where he does a Kanye style auto-tune piece that's like part monologue, part song about his relationship with the audience. And we found out after the fact that the take they use in the special, sort of went off the rails, but it's hard to tell. And he had a panic attack after, and that's when he stepped away from comedy. And that's the one that they used. And I was fascinated by that and all the stuff that he's saying. So I was like, okay, maybe there's more to this guy. He goes away for a while. Then during COVID, he releases his special Inside on Netflix. And Bo Burnham Inside is a legitimate work of genius, I think. I think that it is like generationally good as a piece of comedy and as a mini sort of documentary. Very, very, very good. So
I'll check it out.
If you like musical comedy, because some people just don't like musical comedy.
I don't love it. I don't love it. There's a lot of comics around me who are like, hey guys, I brought my guitar. And they're like talented people. Like they're not like bad. They're not like hacks. I'm just like, it's like, what's the other thing I hate? Magic.
Yeah. So
I despise magic.
So magicians and musicians not on Burbank nights anytime soon.
But my thought is this: if you have the talent to play guitar, write a song, and sing, I would kill for that talent. Go form a rock band, and a lot of them do, to be clear. But yeah. But I have people I love who do a lot of musical comedy, so I don't want to judge them too harsh. It's just not for me. That's a great example of not for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken doesn't dig musical comedy. He's a prop comedy guy.
Look, man, I grew up, Joel Hodgson did some great prop stuff, but Carrot Top's actually funnier than people want to give him credit for. But I have one prop I'm planning to do in a set soon.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm excited to see. I gotta get out there.
Prop adjacent.
Prop adjacent. When are you going to do some Orlando shows so I don't have to travel so far? When are you going to come out this way?
I'd love to. I think next up for us is San Diego. That's this one. So if you're down for Comic-Con, come see us Thursday night, American Comedy Company. This will be like our 42nd year of doing that wonderful Mark Ellis and Friends show. Little Rock, Arkansas, August 7th through 10th. And then we had some other things. I don't want to say some things maybe falling apart, some things maybe new opportunities. So I'll let you know, though. You'll know for sure.
42 years, man. That's amazing. Knapsack and Ellis is kind of like the Martin and Short for YouTube punditry. Like that a whole generation defined by Knapsack.
I was cleaning out some old thumb drives yesterday and found a Comic-Con 2014 thumb drive. So I had videos on it from Schmoes doing man on the street interviews. And I sent a screenshot to Ellis. I was like, "Get out there, Loot Crate! Loot Crate needs a video." And we both shuddered. We both shuddered.
Well, I mentioned Martin and Short, Steve Martin and Martin Short, and how he brought back Jiminy Glick while you were off for the couple weeks here, and he brought him back when they were filling in for Kimmel, and people were joking that. Obviously there's no evidence of this, and I doubt Martin Short cares what the internet thinks, but there was an article that went around a few months ago that was really bad. Martin Short's not funny. And people were like, oh, Martin Short broke out Jiminy Glick the way John Wick returned to the world of assassins. Like he had to shut you all up.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The Martin Short of all, because I'm a longtime Martin Short fan. And in that article, that was just a silly little piece of pseudo journalism that came out. It was just bad in so many ways. But there was a point, like so when I started my radio career, long story short, I actually started at a pirate radio station that's still kind of going in my hometown. There's a place called Hole in the Sky, kind of a head shop run by a really fascinating guy named Charlie Goodman. And it's 30 years older than me, or whatever. And I went to his house one day for lunch, and and he was like a Frank Zappa, anti-establishment type of artist guy. And I show up there, and I'm not comparing him to like, Saddam Hussein clearly, but like it's when you hear the stories of what Saddam Hussein did all the time, he just watched like comedies on VHS, like he just watched Western comedies, Kim Jong Un too, right? And it was, so I'm not comparing him to that, but it was just like that. But it felt like that. I go to his house, he's like, "Oh, we just watch Martin Short films," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, yeah. Let me tell you the genius of Martin Short. And this was like 98, 99
Wow.
range. And he was like, oh, Captain Ron is this amazing film. And at the time, I think people forget, like Martin Short had been cast off. He had his rise, and then people were like done with him. And so when Jiminy Glick came out initially, I was like, oh, what's Martin doing? It was funny, but I was like, oh, this isn't helping his cause. And I love that now it's looked at what I think of what it is, which is a really over the top, funny, and at times insightful character.
Yeah, every single person that interacted with the character, he brought in Bill Hader, Melissa McCarthy, Sean Hayes, like every single one of them. He was just destroying them. They were reduced to just nothing but laughs. Like, and these are great comics in their own right. Just like dying.
It's so unscripted. It's so that's what he could do. And a comic like that who can just flow and you have to hope you keep up. Like that's part of what the skills is.
Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here in a few minutes because I know Ken's
Yeah,
got work
I gotta get to working. And this has been I kind of needed a low key, silly, stupid show today.
Just saying, sometimes we got shitty opinions. I acknowledge that. Like Jared wanted me to mention that I think that the Boys fandom is like the most fucking annoying fandom on the internet right now. That's not true. They're not. Star Wars is definitely still. We love Star Wars and professional wrestling, so like those will always be the two most annoying. But the Boys fandom drives me crazy, and I don't like the Boys comics, and I'm probably never going to watch the Boys show because I don't like the Boys comics, even though I understand that there are improvements. Molly says, boring hot take. Green milk's better than blue milk. I disagree with you, but I respect that. And she followed it up by saying, she asked Alex, her dear husband, what my biggest wrong hot take was, and he said, I have none. I'm right about everything. And that is a good man.
I'm not disagreeing, Molly. I've broke bread with you many times. You're the best of us. I'm not fighting with that. I think it's a good strategy for Alex.
I can't think of a bad Molly take, and I would say so if I could, because I know she would be able to laugh at it. I really can't. I really can't.
Yeah.
No,
I don't disagree.
Molly has good music taste, good fashion taste, good movie taste.
Yeah. She's doing the Lord's work out there.
Even the reality TV that I know Molly watches is like RuPaul, which is good reality TV. So it's like, I don't know. Molly, you get away with this round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Alex knows the rules well. I mean, yeah, he's a smart guy. All online fandom sucks. I think that's just an accurate take, Will. I think you're just right about that. Walking Dead is a bad comic and show. We might have to do a part 2 for this, and it seems like everybody's got a lot. Yeah,
it inspired a lot today.
This might have to be a recurring thing. Maybe bad. I used to do a segment on the classic rock station in Miami. That was every Friday. It was hot takes with Alden, where I would have collected the shitty takes from the whole radio station throughout the week, and then we would air them.
Love it.
So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
No. Love it. Thank you for doing what you do, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I got to get to some work here too. This is work as well, but got to get in some other work. Any final thoughts or plug-a-roonies for you?
Final thoughts? Not necessarily. Bad takes are fun as long as you can stand firm and be like, "Hey, I'm at the minority take. There's nothing wrong with that. Just have fun with it." In terms of plugs, 2 days from now, Sunday nights at 10:30 Eastern is Casually Talk. I don't want to call it the new version because it is still Casually Talk and it's not a reboot. It's still this will be episode 180, I think. But since I took over for Hot D season 2, it's been sort of live stream radio call-in style with a set group of people that always have access. And so it's like kind of like when you watch Sesame Street and you're not quite sure who you're going to see, but they all live there. That's sort of what it is, except not as good as Sesame Street, but still pretty good. And we're having some great conversations.
Love that. No, you guys are doing great work. I'm loving the season, but I'm also loving just not having to worry about nettles or was blood and cheese accurate or like I don't care.
What's the percentage chance that we might get you for like a season wrap up? What's the percentage?
10. I don't know. I'm having the greatest time in my life, man. The episode ends and I just walk on.
What a concept. Watching TV.
I walk on and this past week Grace and I cried, and other things. I've read Fire and Blood. It's my favorite George R. R. Martin reading experience, not necessarily my favorite book. I don't remember anything. So I was completely caught off guard this week. I forgot any of that happened. So it's been fun, and the man in the weird hat and suspenders can keep doing what he does and not finish his book and protect his ending so no one will know, and I'm fine.
I got to throw in one more thing before you go. Last minute one. Rollin' by Limp Bizkit is a fun song. Rollin' by Limp Bizkit is a great song. Undertaker,
Sure.
WrestleMania 19, rode his motorcycle to the
Yeah,
ring
that's
for a
all right.
handicap match to Rollin'. Great song. Anyway.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Ken,
I'm fine. Yeah.
you got to plug some shows, some projects.
Yeah, just here you go. Go down if you're down at Comic-Con. Hang out with us. It's a fun show. It's always a fun show. A lot of great comics. I don't know the full lineup as of right now. And yeah, I'm doing my Blathering Live tomorrow night. Just getting back up on the horse, travel, and then some other stuff going on in life. But look forward to more blatherings, more stuff here at anytime. Cashley's going strong. We're all good, man. We're all good. We're fine.
Force Center Live today.
Oh. God, I got to get ready for that. Yeah, Force Center Live today, 2 p.m.
Today, 2 p.m. Let's go.
Well, and I got a show. I got a show tonight at 10 p.m. Like it's one of those days. So,
hell yeah,
I appreciate you getting me through it. That is it. That is it, my friends. I can't even begin to play the music. Yes, I can. Where is it? See, God, when technology resets, next time, anytime, we'll see you.
Bye, folks.
Bye.